day everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be having an interesting topic to discuss on, but before that, let me do a little introduction. If you're seeing this channel for the very first time, my name is Oyindalara, popularly known as Oyindalara. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, just click on that subscribe button. It's just that subscriber, just click on it and turn on your notifications so you'll be among the first set of people that will be getting the coolest gist on this channel. And don't forget to give a thumbs up and share your comments and share your opinion in the comment section. So today, like I said earlier, before I actually buttress on that, before I actually delve into that, over the week or some days back now, there's been this repeated issue or report of rape from different angles, and you begin to wonder what is really happening, what is our society becoming, because it's becoming like a norm. And you know, the funny thing is, when this issue of rape comes up, some people that you feel are supposed to be knowledgeable in this area, you just discover that it seems they no longer, or that knowledge you thought they had was never there. Because you just come up with one something, somebody will be asking, there's an issue of rape, and somebody will be asking, where did the girls go and read? I'm like, really? How did we even get here? So as a matter of fact, I'm angry, but then I feel this is one of the areas where people need to really understand the fact that there's something called sexual consent. There's something called sexual consent. And until there's consent in sex, then it is no longer sex, it's rape. The moment there's no consent, then it is rape. So today we'll be talking about sexual consent. I got like a form of write-up from a friend over the week, and I discovered like it's comprehensive enough in discussing this issue of sexual consent. So I'll be using it to buttress my point on the topic I'm discussing today, sexual consent. So to start with, let's do this. The age, it says the age of sexual consent is how old a person needs to be in order to be considered legally capable of consenting to sex. That means legally there is a particular age for somebody to fully consent to sex. Now there's something called minor, that's somebody below the age of 18. That means if you as an adult, you are having sex with somebody below the age of 18, then you are supposed to be jailed. And when I mean jailed, you're supposed to save your whole life in prison, because that is wickedness of the highest order. So if you are having sex, okay, now you are having sex with somebody younger than 18. As a matter of fact, I feel you are supposed to be sentenced to life imprisonment and die by firing squad or by electrocution, because that is a devilish act. And then, even if you are going to be having sex with somebody that is 18 and above, there's something called consent. That person needs to agree to the fact that I want to do this with you. Now, I feel sex is something to be enjoyed. It's actually pleasurable. Let's be really sincere with ourselves. It's pleasurable, and I feel it's something that should be enjoyed between two people, not only one person. So it is when selfishness begins to come into play, that is when you want to rape somebody without our consent or without his consent. Now, rape can actually happen to either a male or a female. So adults who have sex with someone younger than the age of consent should face jail term. And another part says, now we're going to be defining some terms that are relating to sexual consent here. Now the first one is enthusiastic. Now when it comes to sex, you should only do stuff you want to do, not things that you feel you are expected to do. Now if you want to actually do this thing, do it because you want to do it. If you feel I want to have sex, do it because you want to do it, not because you feel like there's a feeling you're expected to do this. No. Even if you're in a relationship, if you want to have sex because you want to have sex, not because you feel it's the norm for people to have sex in a relationship. No, it's not. So, because like I said earlier, sex is something to be enjoyed between two people. And so, if you want to do it, do it. Like, you should be the judge yourself, and then the consequences. Then specific, saying yes to one thing, like going to the bedroom to make out, doesn't mean you've consented to have sex in the bedroom. That's being specific. Okay, your boyfriend says, let's go to the room. We are going to the room to make out. When you get to the room and there's an introduction of sex, you state it if you really want to have sex or not. And you, on the other hand, the other person too, okay, we are going to the room to make out. Doesn't mean the other person have said we are having sex. So you don't go to the room now after kissing or whatsoever. Then you want to do another thing. No, the person didn't consent to that. So if you feel like doing that, you should ask the person, do you want to do this? I feel like doing this. Do you want to do it? Even married couples, even married people, married couples, they are supposed to do that. The fact that you feel this person is your wife or this person is your husband doesn't mean this person will always be interested in doing this. No, you're supposed to ask, honey, are you interested in doing this? I feel like having sex. Are you interested? And if the person consents to it, cool. But if the person doesn't consent to it and you feel because this person is your wife or this person is your husband, you have to force this person to do this, then you're a rapist. Then another part is freely giving. Consenting is a choice you make without pressure. Consension happens when there's no pressure, when you are not under duress, when you are not under the influence of alcohol or drug, and when you are not manipulated to do it. It should come freely. Sexual consent should be free of any form of thing whatsoever. You are not supposed to be under duress. You are not supposed to be under a gunpoint. Somebody's pointing a gun to you and telling you, say yes. No, that is not sexual consent. The person is supposed to be willing. Okay, are you interested in doing this? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. No form of, not when the person is drunk and you expect the person to actually be in his or her right state of mind to say he or she wants to do this. No. The person, the moment someone is drunk or under the influence of alcohol, you don't ask for sex. You don't manipulate somebody to say yes because you want to have sex. It is very, very wrong. Then reversible. Now, anybody can change their mind about what they feel like doing anytime. I think it applies to our normal day-to-day life. Sometimes you have plans to do this and I'm not sure I want to do this anymore. That is how it is too. Somebody might consent to sex now, and the moment you get to the bedroom or wherever it wants to happen, please, I'm sorry, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Yes, it is like consent is reversible. The person can actually change his or her mind depending on whatsoever feeling the person is feeling or whatsoever state the person is. And you as the other person, you should accept that. The moment you are going against that person's wish, then you are a rapist. Inform. You can only consent to something you have a full knowledge about. Now, it's just like, okay, somebody is saying, we are going to have sex, and we are going to have it, and you are like, no, I don't want to do it, and okay, maybe along the line, the person accepts, but you are going to use a condom. You are going to use this form of protection, and you agree to it. And in the end, you get to the room where you are going to make out. The person finds out you didn't stick to the agreement you had. Then consent has been withdrawn. In short, the consent of the person has actually been trampled upon. I think that's the right word to say. The consent of the person has actually been trampled upon because you agreed that you were going to use the protection and you didn't use it. That means you have defaulted in your promise. Then there are laws about who can consent and who can't. Yes, some set of people can consent, some set of people cannot. People who are drunk, people who are high, or people who have passed out cannot consent to sex. Imagine somebody has passed out, maybe as a result of suffocation or whatsoever, and you expect the person to consent to sex, or the person is under pressure and you expect the person to consent to sex, or the person is under the influence of alcohol or drug, like I said earlier, and you expect the person to consent to sex. That is wrong. There are laws to protect minors, so that's people under the age of 18, from being pressured into sex with someone older than them. Now you discover that this is the one that's really, really rampant in our society of today. You see young people, minors, that are being raped. And I'm wondering, what I think, like I said earlier, sex is to be enjoyed. How do you see somebody that is old enough to be your younger sister under the age of 18, or old enough to be your daughter, or old enough to be your son, and you are aroused, like you have erection, or you start getting wet? How does that even happen? Like I asked somebody the question sometime ago. I'm like no, I think somebody said so, and I'm like, that's true. How do you get aroused seeing a baby? Seeing somebody like a baby. I read sometimes ago, a baby was, I think, less than 2 months. The baby died in the process, and you raped a 2-month-old baby. How did we even get here? It's really, really wrong. It's really, really wrong. Then, consent is never implied by things like your past behavior, what you wear, and where you go. Now, this is the part where most of us gets it wrong. When you hear the issue of rape, you want to actually blame the lady. Why did you go there? What did you go and do there? And all of that. No, it is not. Consent is never implied by things like your past. Perhaps you've really had a bad past. We all do have a bad past. So consent is not based on what you had in the past. And it is not because of what you are wearing. Even if you are wearing a bikini, doesn't mean you are consenting to sex. Even if you are somewhere that is not safe, doesn't mean you are consenting to sex. Consension should be the word of mouth, an agreement. It's like an agreement. Okay, we want to do this, we are not doing this. Then sexual consent is always clearly communicated. It is clearly communicated. If you're asking somebody a question, do you want to do this, and the person is not replying, there is no consent. Even couples, like I said, they still really need to consent that, okay, we want to do this. Like, how? If you are not consenting to sex, if somebody is not consenting to sex, then what is really enjoyable there? Because it's like you are forcing the person, you are coercing the person to do what he or she doesn't want to do. Then, lastly, you get the final say over what happens with your body. I determine what happens to my body, not anybody else determining that for me. It doesn't matter if you've hooked up before, or even if you said earlier, then change your mind. You are allowed to stop at a minute, at any time, as a matter of fact. Even if the whole thing is about to happen and you're not feeling comfortable with it, you are allowed to stop, and the partner is expected to stop as well. And your partner needs to respect that. So sexual consent is a whole lot, and we all really need to understand this fact. Because until there's an understanding of sexual consent, trust me, the issue of rape will continue to happen. But then the issue of rape is really another topic entirely for another day, because I'm short of words, but it's becoming like a whole lot in this part of the world where we belong. But then I feel we'll scale through when we have knowledge of all of these things. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Sexual Consent and Real Life Lessons. I'm sure we have all gotten one or two things. So please share this content. We really need to enlighten ourselves on this issue of consent and sexual consent, so as to reduce the drastic rate at which the issue of rape is really eating into our society of today. So like I said, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscribe button. There's a bell beside it. Click on it as well. By clicking on it, you have turned on your notification button so as to you will be among the next first set of people that will be getting the next content that will be dropping on this channel. Give a thumbs up if you are impressed by this. Give a thumbs up and share your opinion in the comment section. Until we see you again, do have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.